If you read The Telegraph or any of the other news channels who've been blowing up my phone for the last week, you would have thought that Zach Polanski was lining up landlords in front of a marauding crowd who were all fighting over their heads falling out of the guillotines. The reality of the Green Party conference was somewhat more tame, but there was a policy titled Ban Landlords, which has caused quite a stir amongst the mainstream media. So let's have a look at the policy. What are the Green Party really calling for? And is it really that radical? Spoiler alert, the answer for me is no. See if you can guess who said this. As soon as the land of any country has all become private property, the landlords, like all other men, like to reap where they never sowed, and demand a rent even for its natural produce. If you say Karl Marx, you'd be wrong. That's actually a quote from Adam Smith, often referred to as the father of capitalism, in his book Wealth of Nations in 1776. You know the expression invisible hand of the market? Same book. Adam Smith saw landlords as idle relics of a feudal age. He was a capitalist. He believed in the free market, and the only free market is one where landlords can't make a profit. Henry George was another fervent capitalist. He was writing about 100 years after Smith, and by this point, landlords were making money on speculation as well as rent. For George, land was a distinctly different asset class. Unlike most wealth, which can be moved or can be created, land is static and pretty much constant. Okay, history lesson over. Let's dive into this radical policy suggested by the crazies over at the Green Party. Okay, point number 1, introduce rent controls. Okay, like Maynard Keynes advocated for during the post-war inflation period. All right, okay, it's the first point. We'll keep going. Abolish Section 21 evictions. I mean, John Stuart Mill argued that land monopolies distorted bargaining power and that the solution was that tenants should have greater power, greater security, greater ownership rights. Sounds like a policy that he would write. Still not particularly radical. Let's keep going. Introduce a land value tax. Okay, like Henry George suggested. Nice to see his ideas finally getting the respect that they deserve. Still not seeing anything radical. Remove finance for landlords. Interesting. Okay, so most buy-to-let schemes are built on the presupposition that the price of the house will go up. Essentially, it's a gamble. Now, small amounts of gambling are fine, but an economy based on gambling, tell you what, I'll let Maynard Keynes say it. Speculators may do no harm as bubbles on a steady stream of enterprise, but the position is serious when the enterprise becomes the bubble on a whirlpool of speculation, when the capital development of a country becomes a byproduct of the activities of a casino. The job is likely to be ill done. Provide government-backed finance to tenants. Okay, this is practically a Thatcherite policy. I mean, the idea of having a property-owning democracy, or that all the working people should have a stake in the soil, that's a Churchill quote. Where's the communism in that? Let's keep going. Provide finance to councils. Yeah, that's a post-war consensus policy. That's Keynesian economics. Winston Churchill did this too. In fact, Churchill advocated for the land value tax. To be honest, this whole thing isn't far off a Churchillian policy. This isn't radical. This isn't insane. This is just normal, sensible policy, essential for preventing monopolistic distortions and maintaining a free market. I'll tell you what's insane. The fact that our political system has shifted so far out of touch with reality that the media are presenting this as anything other than traditional, uncontroversial, centrist suggestions. Zach, I love what you're doing. Keep up the good work. Keep bringing sanity back to politics. Tax wealth, not work. See you in the next one.